Hi there. So somebody commented on a video of mine, one of my first videos, where I was explaining why I'm recording these videos. So apparently I misspoke in the video and I talked about kundalini awakening and not kundalini activation process. Now, actually it doesn't matter, but the person commenting, he or she said that it's a very dangerous process, that people shouldn't do this or trust just anyone, that they should go to a qualified teacher and follow a sort of lineage, right, and do proper kriya yoga. So you have a lot of Indian teachers who are like masters in kriya yoga. So there's Babaji, there's Yogananda, the more famous ones, Sri Yakwashar. There's a lot, there's a lineage, but Yogananda I think is the most like notable, because there's this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, that's very popular in the West. Anyway, and let me tell you, I'm no kriya teacher. I don't have a lot of kriya experience, but I did kriya exercises from Isha, so Isha kriya, and I did Shambhavi Mahamudra kriya, and I did other kriya exercises. And what I noticed when you're doing just kriya exercises, sure, your system gets purified. There's a gradual release of the kundalini energy. You gradually, step by step, uncover more and more unconscious material. You become more and more conscious. Now, the thing is, you probably will have to work with a guru with this, right? Because you're only limited by the exercise. The great thing about KAP is not dangerous, right? I've done 37 sessions now, and I've met people who have done 50, 60, 70. I've met facilitators who have done way more sessions and who have given way more sessions than that. And not once did I hear about bad experiences or that it was dangerous. The thing here with KAP, the facilitator, he's not actively awakening your kundalini like you would do with the self-willed practice. So for instance, when you do qigong, tantra, kriya yoga, any kind of these meditations, you're using your will to force the kundalini energy to rise up and to activate. And when this happens and you don't have a guide, you don't have a teacher, the energy is, let's say, it's normally when it awakens in a natural state. It awakens as a byproduct of awakening, of your own evolution of your consciousness, of your awareness of your consciousness. But here, you're stimulating something which you may not be ready for. And for some people, there are reports, for some people it can be very dangerous, because some people can get into psychosis, some people can get confused, some people may get into altered state of consciousness and not be ready for those experiences. And when there's no guru and they're doing these exercises on their own, they may not be ready to relate to that, to integrate that, right? So that can be dangerous. But with KAP, the great thing that I've noticed is when you go to a KAP session, the facilitator transmits two frequencies. One is the frequency of kundalini, and second is the frequency of non-dual energy. So the KAP facilitator tunes in to an energy field, right, of non-duality, a love energy, God energy, whatever you want to call it. And that energy, it streams through your crown chakra, it goes to your kundalini, and it works with your kundalini. And there's a spiral motion, there's a motion up and down, so the two energies are circulating, and they're working together in a synergistic way. Now what's great about this is, because the non-dual energy, it has an intelligence. It only gives you what you're ready for. So if you're not mentally or physically ready to release something, or to have some trauma, or to have some kind of mystical experience, you will not get it. You will always only get what you're ready for, what you're psychologically ready for. And the second thing, you never get something added. So it's not like the energy is adding things to you. It's not giving you things. It awakens your own energy, and your own energy is working in synergy with the non-dual energy. So if you have the ego and you have consciousness, right? The consciousness becomes aware of the ego, and the ego becomes aware of the consciousness. And it's like they're having a conversation, and they're both being integrated, right? So they become whole. But they too are perceived by a third, the non-dual energy, and the non-dual consciousness, right? And it's not personal. It's almost like, I must say, when I went to ayahuasca and I had an ayahuasca session, I felt it, that I was interacting with a different consciousness than my own, right? It was a different consciousness that was working with me and was helping, on my journey. Now here, it's the same thing. When you do KAP, it's a different consciousness that is helping your own kundalini process. It's activated. You have a kind of readjustment. I inquired into this. What happens during a KAP session? So we have different sheets of bodies, right? We have physical body, mental body, emotional body, energetic body, and so on. During the process of KAP, in any one of those bodies, an action, a change, a movement can happen, a shift can happen. The body is the last which will reflect the change. So some people may have days after KAP where physically they're experiencing detox symptoms. They're tired, they're purging, they're very emotional, they feel very high on energy, they feel very heavy, they need to sleep a lot, whatever. Everybody has different experiences. But throughout the KAP sessions, all your bodies get an adjustment. It's like a readjusting of all the energy bodies, of all the sheets, so that there's alignment. Now, when there's alignment, your innermost body, your core, your bliss body can shine through. When your core, your bliss body shines through, most of your lower self, egoistical wants and desires and ideas are then dropped away, and your higher self desires, your soul print, your birth vision plan, it becomes aware. It likes whatever is already in you, imprinted in your soul, in your core, it's just emerging and presenting itself like, this is what you really want. This is what is really yearned for. This is what you really need to go through. This is what life wants you to experience and accomplish, investigate, experiment with, whatever. So I think it's a very safe alternative to regular yoga. And I know people, like there are people who never meditated, who done 4 hours meditation, but they had 3-4 sessions of KAP, right? And after 3 to 5 sessions of KAP, your own energy, your kundalini energy, which is dormant, it usually gets activated by the fifth. So you usually have a kind of activated energy, and then awakening will probably follow very soon. Now I know a girl, Nargis, she's a non-dual teacher right now, and she did 3 to 4 sessions, and then she had a kundalini awakening when she was at home, and 1 year after that she was self-realized because she used the energy of awakening to pursue self-realization. So she used the energy of awakening to go into non-duality. What did I do when I experienced my kundalini awakening? I used it, like my ego used it, to pursue my unfulfilled desires, to make up for all the experience I never got. So if I was lonely, if I was shy, if I didn't dare to do things, I used the energy to make up for myself, to have experiences where I would have all that I lacked. And I wasted a lot of years like that, 3-4 years, just chasing those altered state of consciousness, chasing experiences, chasing peak moments, and it was stagnant. My life was stagnant because I was just going from one peak experience to another peak experience. And I realized while I had the experience, it's limited. There's nothing to get out of it. But with KAP, what's amazing is every session, the non-dual energy enters your crown chakra, activates your own kundalini, works with your own kundalini. You get a realignment of whatever you're ready for. Whatever you're not ready for, you will not get. Then, after the realignment, you get an integration period. Usually it takes 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 weeks to integrate what has shifted. You will feel in your life that certain unconscious patterns or certain unconscious behaviors or emotions that have been suppressed will come up and will be presented to you, revealed like a revelation, to be worked out, to be worked through, to be felt. What I really love about KAP is it pushes you towards embodiment. It allows your energy to work together with your body. So when you do yoga, mainly from my experience, you use the practices to transcend your physical experience. You transcend and you go into higher planes. You dissociate from the body. You focus on altered state of consciousness. You're pushing yourself towards being in union with God, right? To let go of the body, let go of all earthly attachments, to let go of everything that ties you down, right? And for some people, that is the path. But I don't think that's the path for everybody. And with KAP, it forces you to own your emotion, to own your desires, to own your past lives, your soul plan, your purpose, your love life, everything. Like literally, I've gone through 37 sessions and I've seen so many different dimensions of my life being realigned, and then embodied. So embodiment is really crucial, because if your awakening is not embodied, then it's all mental. You can have the realization we are one, we are one love, but if you don't feel it, if you don't act out of it, if you just have the ideal of it, then what is its worth? If the rubber doesn't hit the road, right? If you're not putting into practice what you realize, then that means your realization wasn't full. Because if it was full, that would mean that it's complete, right? So is KAP dangerous? KAP is not dangerous at all. I think it's way more safer than normal yoga. I think they can be done in conjunction, because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing yoga practices on myself, by myself at home, and I'm using mainly balancing my chakra practices. So I'm using Joe Dispenza, his meditations, and I'm using them to just balance my chakras, to just stay in alignment, to allow the energy to flow, and whatever comes up, I deal with it. I use other tools in psychology to do shadow work, to deal with burdened emotions, to let go of attachments, to let go of negativity, to let go of anything that blocks the expression of what I am. I really love this quote from David R. Hawkins. He says, the core work in spirituality is not adding something to yourself. It's not about adding something in your mind. It's not about receiving something more and becoming more. It's actually negation. It's releasing everything that is not you, everything that's not original, everything that's not real. You go from falsehood to truth, and in the end, there's only your essence. And when your essence sparks, there's all the knowledge, everything that you've been through, it's still there, but now it's being embodied by the energy of life itself, which is not controlled or predetermined and preconditioned by your ego, by your desires, by your wants, by your personality, right? The energy will act through your personality. It will act through your body. It will act through who you are to achieve what it wants, right? And it may have different goals and desires than what you think spirituality is about, or what you think is good or bad, right? So it's all about stepping out of the way. But I really like the question. I'm really thankful that people are questioning this. But I can tell you, I've done a lot of KAP sessions. I know people who have done a lot of KAP sessions. All that I notice is, with KAP, you're always steady, you're always in your body, you're not flying. Sometimes you have peak moments where you fly, but you come into your body, you deal with your body, with your feelings, and you release. Primarily, for most people, it's about releasing trauma, releasing pain, releasing regret, releasing guilt, releasing grief, releasing shame, releasing emotions that are attached to past experiences, to traumas. And then you will get other experiences. But it's all, I just love the way you go, and each session, either something falls away or something becomes more apparent and integrated. So the more KAP that you do, the more your humanity and your energy and your consciousness is integrating your ego into who you are. So the ego, the unconscious ego, you become more aware of it, and it's more integrated, it's more seen through, and it transforms. And that's why I think that it's an amazing tool, and it's really safe. Like, I can guarantee you that it's really safe. Never had a bad experience, and I've never heard that anybody had a bad experience with it. Like, it amazes me that something like this exists, right? Like, people can go, right, without any expectations, in a KAP session, lay down, and you get an energetic attunement, alignment. You come into true attunement with who you are. You come in alignment with who you really are. And if you keep going, and if you keep doing the outside work, integrating, it will be like you're upgrading your character, you're upgrading your life on an energetic level, and you're becoming more of who you are than before. Yeah, that was it.